Thank you for viewing this tutorial on the online grant management system and how to complete and submit your application for consideration. Once you've logged into the online grant management system, I'm going to walk you through the menu bar on the left. The top section is information that's for you in order to help you complete your application as well as use the online grant management system. As you scroll down, there are other headings, your organization information where you can update all of your contact information. Same thing for the people that are associated with your organization. And then you have the section that you'll use primarily today, which is your letter of intent and application section. Beyond that, if you are awarded, your application will move into grant status, which will be posted here. And then some budget information is here, which I will show you in a minute in the application. The remainder of these headings are for awarded applicants. First, I'm going to go over the policy campaign information link at the top of the page. This is all information for you to understand the policy campaign grant opportunity and what Voices for Healthy Kids expects from an applicant in this area. Just a reminder, your application deadline is July 26th at 5 p.m. and we will notify applicants on or around September 9th of the award decisions. Applications for this area, there is some information here as well, as in addition to what we expect grantee proposals to meet as far as an application. It's all listed here for you to take a look at. One thing is that Voices for Healthy Kids is not a typical funder, and we wanted you to know that we work closely with our grantees to help you pass your policy and to have the opportunity to receive some technical assistance and training from us. So there is great resources here. One of the ways that we do that is we have a very robust onboarding plan for our grantees that are awarded, and we've laid that out here for you so you can see what the expectations will be. In addition, all lead organizations and a representative from their sub-grantee organization are required to attend the new grantee onboarding in-person meeting and the all grantee meeting on October 22nd to the 24th, and it will be located in San Antonio, Texas this fall. It's a great opportunity to get to know other grantees, get to know our team, and to really be onboarded into the Voices for Healthy Kids grantee group. The next link is application resources. There are great tools in here that I encourage you to review in preparing your application. First, there's some links to success stories and toolkits on our website, great things to go read and review as you're preparing your campaign plan. The next section is application preparation webinars. These are webinars to help you in preparing your application, such as this one, which will be posted here under application and submission. And we will also have one on the model campaign planning tool, which is a required component of your application, building health equity into your campaign plan. And then there's some additional ones here focusing on policy levers. Each of you has received your policy lever in PDF format via email so that you can be sure that your campaign plan really addresses the policy goal that Voices for Healthy Kids is looking to fund. So next I'm going to go down to the draft LOI and application section because that's where your application is now sitting. So once you click on that, you'll see the application here, and you can click on that as well, and it will open up in this third window pane here. There's 4 buttons I'd like you to be mindful of. Up in the top right is the button Edit. That will let you edit your application. You can print a PDF copy of it up here on the right. Down here there is Withdraw from Consideration in the chance that you decide not to complete your application. And then there's also the Submit button. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Edit button. And at this time, just to remind you all to make sure that you are using Google Chrome as your browser, as the online grant management system works best in Google Chrome, and some of the features do not work in Internet Explorer. Once you've clicked Edit, your application is open and ready for you to edit the application. Any yellow box throughout the application are instructions that we've provided for you to assist you in completing the information correctly before submitting. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, there are two buttons, a cancel button if you do not wish to save your changes, or a save button. This system does not autosave your application, so I really do encourage you to save often in the system when you're working. The first few sections are the ones that you have already completed with your letter of intent, and we just ask that you do not change the policy area objective or the type of policy that you're passing without approval first from Voices for Healthy Kids. Once you scroll down, you'll see population impact is collapsed, but you can open it if you wanted to review what you had submitted for your letter of intent, and the same thing with your letter of intent. We have a section on pre-application support. So if you're listening to this webinar tutorial, you can select that you've watched the application and submission webinar. Any of the other ones, please let us know if you've participated in those and if you've asked any questions throughout the process of the application phase. Next is the application itself. All of the questions are here in this form, and then you also are required to complete a campaign plan, which I'll get to in a moment. We do have, again, instructions in the yellow boxes, and then there are downloads. So here are the narrative questions in Word for you to download so that you can easily collaborate with your partners and your coworkers to submit your application. Big word of caution. Please do not wait until the last day to copy and paste your responses to the questions from Word into the system. There are often many formatting issues, and your application will receive fewer points for the section around formatting if it's not formatted correctly. You can see that you can actually format right in here, and you can enter in your responses to the questions here. There is a character limit that is without spaces, and you can count those characters in Word. We ask that you stick to this character limit. The system will not block you from continuing if you are entering those character limits in. Just please stick to the character limits provided. So as you scroll down, you see the questions are clearly listed. There's also some bullets under some of the questions that indicate really what we're clearly trying to have you explain for that section of the application. Next is your priority population engagement sub-grantee. This is really a key section of your application where you need to have a relationship with another organization from the community in which the policy that you are hoping to pass will impact. If you are an organization from that community, we really encourage you to think about other organizations that you can bring into this campaign planning process and into leading this campaign to ensure policy success. There's some instructions in the yellow box, and you'll need to fill out information about your sub-grantee here. You'll also need to have the sub-grantee's nonprofit status letter and a letter of support from the sub-grantee organization. In order to add those to your application, you simply click on the plus button next to the name of the required item, and you can add the file here, start the upload, and that will upload the files into the system. Your grantee budget. This section is where you put in the financial requests that you're asking for from Voices for Healthy Kids. Again, yellow boxes are instructions, and these are the two fields that need to match what you've entered into the application budget, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can see I've actually added two budgets here because I have been testing the system. So when you need to start a new budget card, try to only have one in here. If you need any of them to be deleted, you do need to reach out to Voices for Healthy Kids. But once you click on this button, the budget card will open and you can start to answer the questions in the card. I'll give that just a minute to open. Okay, so budget type is going to be your application budget. Again, here is a yellow text box, so those are your instructions, And there is actually an Excel version of the budget that you can download here and have that to use in preparing for your application. However, all of the numbers do need to be entered into the system. So these are a couple of required questions asking if you're requesting lobbying and non-lobbying dollars. Do you have funds from your organization, and how much do you have available for lobbying and non-lobbying? Funds from other sources is funds from a grant or a coalition partner that's helping you with this campaign, and maybe they are paying for the lobbyist for the campaign or contributing in another way. These numbers will auto-populate as you enter in information below. So for each section, wherever it says non-lobbying and lobbying, those are the dollars that you're requesting from Voices for Healthy Kids for your campaign. So for a campaign coordinator, which is a required budget line item and a required position for your application, you would need to identify how much of that campaign coordinator's time and financial commitment would be dedicated for non-lobbying and lobbying tactics. So you would enter in those numbers into these locations. As you scroll down, you will see that the other areas have each section for office operations. There's telephone and cell phone. So we ask you to tell us how much non-lobbying, lobbying, funds from your organization, and funds from other sources would be dedicated to each of these categories. You do need to budget in your budget for a lead organization and a subcommittee member to attend the onboarding meeting in October and what we call the all grantee meeting in October. So I am just scrolling down. It is kind of a long form. I'm going to save it and show you a different view that you can look at this in. But you can see here that under travel for the sub-grantee, you need to include their travel as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And you can see here that it says the grand total is, for this budget card that I did, is $201,695. So that means that this amount requested really should be $201,695 for the amount requested. And the total campaign budget you can get by looking at your card once you've completed your budget. So I'm going to go ahead and save this application. We're going to come back in just a minute. I'm going to show you where there is actually a place that you can take a look at your budget card in a little bit bigger format. So over here on the left, there is the list of budgets in your card here. And if you go under new budgets, you can see that new one that I just created is here, even though there's no numerical information in there since I just showed you how to create the budget. But here is one that I did create previously. And same thing, edit is up at the top, submit is at the bottom. When you're done with your budget, you can go down here and click submit. So you can see in here that this adds up and it says that my total campaign budget is $197.98, and what that's doing, it's adding up any amount of dollars that I have listed in my budget card for my request, as well as funds from my organization or other organizations, and it's going to add it up for you at the top, and you'll get your total campaign budget, and you can get that either at the top or down here at the bottom. So you can see total campaign budget, non-lobbying is $125, not requesting any lobbying. We have funds from my organization, so the total campaign budget is here. So again, you can come in here and you can submit, you can edit the budget over here. I'm going to go back to the application and just finish the last section of review, and then you all can go ahead and get started with your application in the system. Okay, so I am going to go straight down here to, there's our budget, so you can, that's where we just were. And then there's the budget narrative. So for each area, you need to complete a budget narrative that indicates clearly what the funds that you're requesting from us will be dedicated towards in that area. So advertising, you could put down billboards, how much you're planning on spending on billboards, or marketing, polls and surveys. You can have a poll or a survey conducted with your campaign. They are required to go through Voices for Healthy Kids. And just to know, all contracts are required to be viewed by Voices for Healthy Kids to ensure compliance with the grant guidelines. As you finish your budget narrative, you get to the next section, which is uploading application documents. You can see here, this is your model campaign plan. This is a document that is required to be completed and uploaded. Please give yourself plenty of time to complete this document. It is a very robust, detailed plan for your campaign plan. Here is a guide that can help you in assisting in completing the model campaign plan, and shortly we'll be posting a recording on model campaign plan tutorial here for you as well. Letters of references are not required, but encouraged, and you can add additional documents again by clicking on these plus signs. Organizations are required to upload a few different documents here, and you can see that they are listed. Letters, IRS Form 990, supplier package. I've just put some test letters in here. So you can see what's required here. And the supplier package, when you open that up, it is required, and you need to complete all of the highlighted fields in the document before uploading and sign it. That is how we pay potential applicants if they are awarded. Well, that completes your application. You can save it often. You can go in and work on it a little bit at a time and go in and save it. And then once you have completed everything and you are ready to submit, you would just log into this page, and in the bottom right-hand corner, my application is saving. So once you have completed all your edits and saved, in the bottom right-hand corner, those two buttons, Withdraw from Consideration and Submit, will appear, and you would just need to click on the Submit button in order to submit the application. My system seems to be a little slow here, so make sure you give it time. Especially before you close out the Google Chrome window, make sure that your application has completely saved. And there you go. You'll get the grant request was successfully saved. I will open a ticket to try and get that to go quicker. But in the meantime, down here in the bottom right, you would click Submit. You can put a note if you would like, and OK. And once you do that, the application will be submitted. And you will see the change here. Right now, our edited version appeared here. Oh, actually, I was not able to submit. So this is where you have to make sure that you're watching your screen, because it was unable to promote. And the reason it was unable to promote is because I did not upload those required documents. So I would need to go back in and make sure that I've uploaded all of the required documents and I'm ready to submit. And then I would submit my application. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Try and submit the application before the deadline, just in case any of these issues arise and you might forget a document that you need to upload. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing your application, and please reach out and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.